Hello everybody, dear friends, dear clients, dear astrology lovers. Here is Olga with the astrological forecast, horoscope, the analysis of astrological actual transits for the next week from April 17th to 23rd. First of all, I would like to wish to all Christians happy Easter and to wish sincerely from the bottom of my heart a lot of happiness, love, joy, peace, and prosperity to you and your families. I have very good news for you today. As I promised the last time, the upcoming week is full of very nice, harmonious aspects. First of all, the impact of this very tense of the T-square that was chasing us for the past couple of past weeks is behind, and also the tension of the full moon is behind. So the moon now is waning, and I like this phase of this part of the lunar months when the energies when we are not when we escape from the full moon. Me personally, I'm not comfortable. Even though I was born on the full moon, there's too much tension, too much contradictions, and too much emotional intensity during the full moon. So all this is behind. But let's describe the exact, accurate aspects of the upcoming week. The first general remark is that the next week, the upcoming week, the same way as throughout the entire month of April, we have been and will be for during the next week, when we will be strongly influenced by two signs, Taurus and Aries, because the majority of planets are in these two signs, and Aries, as we know, as always brings breakthroughs, plans, the process of updating of our plans, fire situations, and Taurus on its side accentuates issues of economics, finance, acquisitions, and nutrition. On the general background of the dominating signs of Aries and Taurus, Venus being in the sign of Pisces will add subtleties, subtile attitude, subtile energies, musicality, harmoniousness to our relationships during this period. The last time I mentioned two very harmonious aspects that will be exact on Monday, the 17th. I will repeat them. I will comment on these aspects once again. I anticipated them the last time because they will be in the orb between April 13th and 22nd. So the next, the Monday 17th, April 17th, Venus, which is already direct, will be in sextile, 60 degrees, with Mars. And these aspects, the energies of this aspect stimulate romanticism, activate mutual understanding in love and intimate relationships, in business partnerships, understanding in business partnerships. And this aspect, of course, partially softens and compensates the impact of this upcoming with a very close aspect, the square Venus-Saturn, right, 90 degrees, on the 21st of April. During this sextile Venus-Mars, some financial ideas or proposals may come up, and they are worth to be considered, but it's better to make final decisions during the direct phase of Mercury after May 3rd. In terms of love, relationships, this aspect can push us towards making new acquaintances and friendships, towards flirting, and towards finding a romantic hero, and of course preferably reliable. But in any case, if we meet somebody interesting these days during this aspect, then we have a real chance to start a fresh, interesting, fresh relationship. The same day, April 17th, on Monday, the Sun will be in trine with Saturn. And since Saturn symbolizes older people and people who are higher than us in the hierarchy, So the Saturn symbolizes power and official institutions and government. During this transit, we will have the understanding of what is important and what is secondary and what can be left on the periphery of our attention. During these days of this transit, it's possible to sum up the preliminary results and to outline an approximate plan for further actions. This is a good time for work on problems if they are resolving depends on relations with officials and superiors. Because the aspect fosters discipline and mutual understanding with the authorities, it's a good moment for addressing to official authorities if you need to ask for help or for assistance or to resolve an issue with some documentation in documents in an official institution. Tuesday, Wednesday, April 8th and 19th. The waning moon will be on the 18th in Capricorn and in Aquarius on the 19th. And during these days, the moon will form conjunction with the Pluto, very heavy aspect, being in Capricorn in conjunction with Pluto. Square to Jupiter, square to Uranus, to the Sun and Mercury, of course, because these three are very close, almost in stellium. So how these aspects will influence our emotions? We may have complicated, complex emotional states, negative feelings, level of conflictuality will be high, so we can expect, unfortunately, conflicts. We may feel also thirst for satisfying our desires by force, so we have to pay attention to control our emotional manifestations. April 19th, the Sun transits, there's an ingression of the Sun to Taurus, the sign of Taurus. Happy birthday to all Tauruses. And the next day, on the 20th, the Sun will be in conjunction with the Mercury, which is retrograde. So this aspect, conjunction Sun-Mercury, defines the time of deeper awareness of events, of our own behavior, of our approach to relationships and to all kinds of interactions. And if in the previous period we were looking for an answer to some important question which is important for us, during the conjunction Sun-Mercury, a new way of solving the problem can be revealed to us. And of course, this information we can and we should use in the future. April 20th, next Thursday, waning moon in Aquarius will form a gorgeous and very nice aspect with Jupiter. This day, all kind of positive ideas, emotions, and real help can come from friends, Venus, moon in Aquarius, and from like-minded people, from a common unconventional activity also, for example. So the same day, April 20th, we have, and the day after, 21st, we have two ingressions. On April 20th, the Mercury retrograde coming back, enters Aries, and the 21st of April, Mars enters into the sign of Gemini, and where it will stay until June 4th. So, what's going on here? Mars will move from the grounded Earth sign of Taurus to the aerial and mobile sign of Gemini. Therefore, it will be easier for us to fulfill an intellectual work. The ideas of travel and communication will be more welcome. If these ideas come from us, they will be welcomed by our surrounding, and also you will hear the ideas of travel and communication from other people. Everybody would like to move more. And since Mars symbolizes masculine energy, women will be more receptive to cheerful, talkative, and younger men. The desire for knowledge will increase. Many of us may expect an active correspondence, and why not more writing work? I mean, if you are a writer or if you are a journalist, if you write blogs, articles, this is a very favorable transit for those who are in this field, professional field. Commerce, trade, small trips, and writing activities. Literature, yeah, and writing, journalism. So that means that during the last 10 days period of April, with the transition of Mercury retrograde to Aries on April 20th and of the transition of Mars to Gemini on April 21st, contact and business activity and trade are becoming more active, and after April 21st, the business delays of the past weeks will dissipate and we will finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. So those who are in the corresponding professional fields, yes, we have to get advantage of this gorgeous transit and to use these energies in order to make your business move forward and for resolving your professional problems and goals and objectives, right? We remember that Mercury is retrograde until May 3rd, so I'm just refreshing you the information that you already heard from me. During the period of Mercury retrograde, we should be careful with when working with documents, when receiving and transmitting information. Additionally, we should coordinate our actions. We should check information, data in order to avoid mistakes in documents, problems in business, in travel, and in all situations where it's necessary to coordinate our actions with the actions of other people. But you understand, I hope, that the retrograde phase of any planet is not the end of the world, and the life doesn't stop during this transit, during the retrograde phase of the planet. So this phase of Mercury, retrograde phase of Mercury, it's a time when we can when it can be useful for us to return to the old affairs and to set order to them. It can be a rework or finalization of already started cases and projects, sorting the archive, cleaning up of the computer from unnecessary files, of course the backup of the website. We can also talk here about the repeated steps in projects where we did not get results from the first attempt in the past. On April 20th, Pluto, the slowest, the farthest planet of the solar system that we use in astrology, starts its retrograde phase in the 19th degree of Capricorn, and the phase will last until September 28th, 2017, of course. In terms of our personal life, I mean, how this aspect can influence, can impact our own personal situation and us on a personal level. During Pluto retrograde, the best choice for us in how to occupy ourselves in our free time, for example, is to delve into ourselves. We need to get aware of what surrounds us and of what is inside of us, and then to get rid of the rubbish that we have accumulated, where it's in what is inside of us and what surrounds us. Okay, and the time of Pluto retrograde is a great period for achieving understanding of who we are, and for following this path faithfully in the future. Okay, and that's why many of us can experience emptiness in their souls, in our souls. The transit can cause quite strong discomfort, but here not everybody will be depressed during, for the couple of next months. We have to check our personal transits. If our personal astrological situation confirms some emotional difficult moments, for example, in progressions, right? Progressive aspects of the progressive moon. And of course, on a higher scale, on a larger scale, the planet is capable of making changes in the system of a state. And here we talk about the changes on the scale of the whole country or continent, or even the entire world, right? The most difficult aspect of the week, and like the last critical point of the week, and maybe I think of the months, is the square, the second square of Venus with the Saturn on the 21st of April, so 90 degrees Venus-Saturn. I remind you that Venus formed already the square Saturn in the beginning of the month when it was retrograde, I mean Venus. Now, since in the direct phase, it repeats the square with Saturn. And the depressive impact of this aspect and the problems associated with it, delays and blockages in love and finances, will gradually lose their acuity if we adopt the right behavior, the right strategy of behavior, which should be a humble attitude, the acceptance of the situation. If we see that there is an obstacle, we should not just force, we have to be patient and humble and to accept the things as they are, because anyway it will not last long, for a long period of time. The acceptance of the situation and understanding of how to solve the problem and to exit from difficulties. So patience and resistance to this negative environment, negative context, and if we succeed in the right application of the right strategy of behavior, after the 21st of April, when the square Venus-Saturn will be behind us, the problems of the first half of April in relationships and in finances will reach a new level of understanding for us. When any negative aspect has its positive side, it's I will say not positive, constructive side, because negative aspects in transits in our general actual aspects in our, and especially our personal transits, they always force us to work on something in ourselves. It's always constructive. The outcome is always constructive. The end of the week, April 21st. Friday, Moon will be in Pisces. It will be in Pisces during the whole weekend. Moon in Pisces, the waning Moon of Pisces, will form square to Mars, but at the same time sextile with the Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Uranus. And this day, there are chances for us to successfully realize our unusual desires, to achieve emotional satisfaction. And on Saturday, April 22nd, the Moon in Pisces will be in conjunction with the Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces. So it means that the theme of Pisces is accentuated, or even doubled, right? So this day, intuition, dreamness, ability to sympathize will be intensified, but we should try not to allow others to play on these strings in order to harm you, which could harm us eventually. And to finally, the last aspect on the April 23rd, next Sunday, Moon in Pisces, of course, will be in conjunction with Venus, which has been 2 days ago in square to Saturn. So this conjunction Moon-Venus will take place on the background of the what we call disintegrating or deforming square Venus-Saturn. Like it's the exact aspect is behind, but still Moon, thanks to its conjunction with Venus, will activize. Accentuate once again, like, you know, the echo of square Venus-Saturn. And in addition to that, we are on the eve of the new moon, and during the last quarter of the lunar month, we all feel the decline of energy, right? We can feel weak and sad and even depressed, sort of like almost miserable. And this day, Sunday, if we are single, we may unfortunately feel loneliness, more solitude, loneliness, because the soul will ask for love, for romance and warm feelings. But unfortunately, even in a couple, if you're in a couple, we risk to expect a distant and rigid attitude from the partner, and this may provoke the dissatisfaction, and this aspect will not allow us to feel loved and cherished enough. But once again, the transit of the moon are very fast, so the impact doesn't last for days, like for a couple of hours, so we have to accept them if these aspects are negative, difficult, and just to control our emotional state, because the moon is just the emotions. We have to control our emotional manifestations. In general, the week is very positive, very light, very constructive. That's why we cannot expect the ideal situation in terms of configurations of aspects. It's never ideal. And don't forget that the positive harmonious aspects exist in alternation with the negative difficult aspects, and everything is cyclic and rhythmical. So if today something is difficult, tomorrow it will be easier. I wish you an excellent week. Get advantage from the constructive, positive, harmonious astrological aspects to realize your plans and to move forward your professional and personal projects. Thank you once again for your attention, and talk to you very, very soon. The next week. Goodbye.